Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am Dustin Marion. He is Hollow Clutch. What is going on, Hollow? How you doing, buddy?
Chilling, man. Can't complain.
Life is good. Life is good in NYC still. You guys are doing all right
So
over
far,
there?
so good. I feel like we haven't hit winter yet at all. It's
Really?
Like, it's not freezing, and it's January, and normally at the end, mid of January, it starts getting really cold, and it's not cold yet.
Yeah, no, I went to the beach the other day, bro. It was a trip.
So it's kind of
Fucking
crazy.
like 80 degrees. So I guess, I don't know. Maybe, 2021 is giving us at least some decent weather going forward and stuff. So yesterday was inauguration day for Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris. Did you check out the show?
Sleepy Joe.
Yo, homeboy looks real old, man.
I don't know. It's Kamala's going to be in there within a year or two. That's
It
what it
looked-
looks like.
It was very strange to see a no audience, no real, like they didn't do what they normally do, which is like drive all the way down to wherever they're at.
They were scared
What
of
is
somebody
it-
fucking probably blowing them up. That's why.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, they've been getting busy on the arrest and trying to find everybody and
Yeah,
rolling
whoever-
up on fools.
whoever stormed in there. Supposedly, they're rounding them up. So.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on the overall inauguration?
It looked like people who were trying to. It looked like people looked like they were trying to, like they won something over somebody else, as opposed to trying to like heal the country and make the country a better place. It was kind of like, it felt like a little rub it in your face, you suck, to the other side, and I don't think that's a good path we're going down.
Did you enjoy the musics by Lady Gaga, J Lo, and the country singer?
I felt that weird too. Like
What are we doing? I don't know.
like I
I
said,
don't know
it
what
was more like I
I'm
said. It felt like a celebration of we won, our side won, your side lost, you suck, kind of thing. That's what it kind of felt across. Like I saw some of the highlights and then watched from beginning to end, but that's what it felt like in the little clips that you did see. And then the media doesn't help because
No.
like they
Gasoline on the fire.
Exactly. They're like, oh, this is, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. All the Trump would have never handled it this way. Last time he handled it his way, look how it went, blah, 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 blah. And it was just a weird thing, I would say. It just looked like the New World Order. It looked like something like that, like out of a comic book.
Oh my God. It was strange not seeing so many people's faces. Like that was weird because you're just so used to seeing, especially on a stage like that, just everybody wearing all the masks. I'm still not used to just seeing massive crowds like that. Did you think it help, or did it matter if Trump attended or help Biden kind of ease into the process of being the president?
I think it would have kind of tampered down the other side, like Trump's base. I think it would have definitely helped in the sense of just like, all right, guys, I fought to the bitter end. There's no coming back right now. We can't win right now. Let's regroup. If he comes down his side, I think if he would have never incited the march and the riot, he would have never got impeached the second time. So he could have been like, look, I'm going to give you a sample of 4 years of Sleepy Joe. And 2024, I'm back. Like, what's up? We're going to start run this back. And I feel like he shot himself in the foot by doing what he did on January 6th and then not showing up yesterday. Just
You think
showing
if he would have
face.
did that, he would have had an opportunity for round two
I think
after
so.
Joe?
I
Yeah.
think if we don't, because it's gonna take time, maybe 2 or 3 years for us to recover financially, maybe a decade to recover financially, and coming in 2024, he could be like, look, you guys didn't bounce back as you would have when I was on the president, on the
Right.
presidency kind of thing. He could play that economic card come 2024, and I think he missed the opportunity. I think whoever his advisors were, he misstepped. I think he misstepped in a big way by not, telling his base, let's just we're gonna come together. We're gonna monitor this administration super closely. We're gonna use all social media, any fact checking to our advantage, and post any misleading, they start doing.
Right.
He could have exacerbated his thing, and he could have exacerbated the saying, look, he lied. He said he was going to do this on June 1st, and we're in August, and he could they could have rolled those tapes over and over. But now that he's banned from Twitter, Facebook, all these social media platforms, he can't use it to leverage himself against the other side, getting ready for 2024.
So basically, he buried himself.
Kind of. I think he
You think
did.
he buried himself for Junior?
Maybe you look at how the way they Bill Clinton kind of hovered over Hillary Clinton.
That's true. That is a very good
It's like
point.
kind of guilty by association kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, for sure, 100%.
Where it would be like, oh, you're married or you're his son, blah blah blah. They hold it against him because look at Junior or George Bush Jr. Like he kind of he won, but he took some of the baggage from his father. But now look at George Bush's brother. He didn't
Right.
stand no chance of running
No,
for president.
But Jeb has always been in a difficult position because Jeb has never really gotten the love that he should have gotten, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Junior was ever a senator or anything like that. And Jeb's been doing big things for Florida for a while. And they just
But what I'm
never
saying is
gravitated to him.
he
No,
got
his dad. Right, right, right.
No, but
You're
I'm
saying
saying
last
is
name.
so you got senior, and then you got junior, and then you have Jeb. So Jeb couldn't stand a chance
At the time, yeah.
because his brother fucked up so badly from 2000 to 2008.
Uh-huh.
And then Obama comes in. I mean, yeah, 2000 2008.
Yeah. Uh-huh,
Obama
uh-huh.
comes in. So like his brother doesn't stand a chance ever running again because he carries the stigma from his brother.
To change his last name to Ush.
Something or Kush. You get the minority
mad
community real
votes.
quick.
Bro, you get mad votes for Kush. I'll be pressing the shit out of that button. I'm like,
Exactly.
is this a weed dispensary?
So you know how
or is
people
this
just
a
don't
voting-
forget. You guilty by association kind of thing. If I were to do something wrong, you just be associated with me in this podcast. Something
Right.
you would get
We
a
hot on the streets,
backlash,
both of us. Yeah,
something like that.
100%.
Even if you did nothing wrong,
Right.
or or you want
least
to do
now.
something great now.
Now
Exactly.
you're totally you're handcuffed to whoever um, is out there in the sense of if they ruin their name, it's crazy that you just got to be careful and you're literally stepping on eggshells. All right, so let's rewind the tape a little bit. Overall, you think people will look back and say Trump had a successful presidency, or it's going to be overshadowed with 2 impeachments and COVID?
Definitely just because of that. Nobody remembers the beginning or the middle. They always remember the end. So like, I could compare it to similar to a good movie. In the beginning, if the first 45 minutes are fire, but the last 45 minutes are trash, or the first an hour and 35 minutes are dope, and the last 10 minutes are trash, you lose this like, huh? Like you're at a
Right.
loss for words. It's
You
kind
don't
of
come out with momentum, basically.
exactly. It's like similar to kind of like comparing it to like Game of Thrones. The last season was dookie. But
Right.
the first couple
So they
seasons
forgot
was
about the
fucking
6
fire.
seasons
forgot-
prior.
Exactly. So it felt along those lines of. I don't think he didn't do anything great throughout his term, but the ending didn't help reflect
Right.
on any good that he could have done or did do. Like I did like how you stop helping countries that are not contributing to us. I thought that's pretty dope. We can't police the entire world all the time. We can't give unlimited funds to everybody all the time. Like even with the COVID relief bill, why were we giving money to anybody else? Like period. Anybody out of the United States, like I'm on board with that kind of, help us first. If we had no poverty, if everybody was educated and we were at a superior country, then we could help other people, but we're not. We still
But
got
we're
kids.
still considered a superpower, and compared to other places, they kind of scrutinize that a little bit because it's almost weird. It's like we jump in to help, but they don't want our help. But then if they need money, they're quick to take that.
For sure, but we give it to them with no
Right?
problem.
No, I get you. Right. I mean, but the thing is that like America has so many dudes they owe in a weird way that they just have favors on upon favors that they're backed up probably.
They got a whole bunch of IOUs.
Facts. And nothing's better than money than an IOU. So they got to
And then,
keep on hitting them with that shit.
but if
All
we
right.
if we took care of ourselves first and
No, I
then
agree. Trust me,
prioritize
bro.
everybody else second, then we'd be in a good spot. Like it makes no sense that you work a job and your job pays for you where you're living and that's it. It can't pay for healthcare. It doesn't pay for your kids. It doesn't pay for you trying to do something else. I get the whole pick yourself out the bootstraps, but as minorities in this country, we're set back.
All right. Let me reel it a little bit more in. So this is a trippy thing to me. So we were just talking about how Lady Gaga goes up there, and then J Lo goes up there. It seemed like the Democrats definitely have a plug with the celebrities and the musicians and the actors and all of that stuff, right?
Sure.
That's kind of like a little party. But what were your thoughts on Trump partying Lil Wayne and Black Kodak?
I guess maybe it's just.
Is it a story or not a story? You don't think?
I guess like they said,
I don't know. I should have been a rapper.
most of the people he pardoned with people with money. Like he didn't.
Right. He didn't help. Right.
He didn't pardon anybody significantly who was in jail for 30 years for a crime they didn't commit, or 20 years for the crime they didn't commit. Like if Andrew Yang said when he was president, he said his first day in office, he would pardon anybody who had a non-drug offense, who had like a small amount of weed. Like that would have been something crazy and impactful. Like I pardon anybody who was just arrested for whatever 1 gram of weed, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
Like
whatever the number you want to make.
like
That's some
non-drug
later type
offensive.
of
He
shit.
was just
Yeah,
you go,
non-violent offenders, basically.
exactly. That would have been dope. That would have been. I think he would have got a big, boost. Maybe that would have pushing forward for 2024. But again, with January 6th and then him doing what he did, not showing up yesterday, again he shoots himself in the foot. I just found it weird. It was just a lot of elite people or people with a lot of money. Like even
That's
Lil
crazy.
Wayne said, he's never racist. He's never experienced racism.
Really?
Yeah.
In New Orleans?
Because he's so rich, and everybody knows who he
That's
is.
true. That's true.
So
Because he's been rich since like 15, right? He was like a little Bow
Probably
Wow.
younger than that. Yeah, around that age.
Well, Birdman is Birdman his stepdad or is Birdman
think
just
so.
a homie?
I think he's like a homie who just discovered him,
Right.
kind
Right.
of
That's
thing.
what,
But
I just find it weird. Like we have all of these problems in the whole wide world, and like you said, we're partying people that are wealthy or that have money.
exactly.
I mean, fucking, he hands out Tom Brady, a mill, hands out Kanye a mill, then pardons rappers. I mean, I was just really confused. I've never seen some shit like that.
And what's kind of crazy is that Bill Belichick denied the Medal of Freedom,
Hey,
which I
seen
thought
that?
was dope.
Yeah, that was, well, Bill be doing whatever the fuck Bill wants to do. I thought that was totally awesome. Actually, I think that story probably, I mean, I don't comb the news feeds as hard as I should, I guess, but it was pretty decent on Twitter. But I think that story should have been blown up, right? Like, I mean, and technically that's his homie too, right? Because I guess, when the Patriots win, they go to the
But
president's
he did
house.
something like I think if you're homeboy or your friend for whatever amount of X years could not disown you, but in the sense of like, yo, we can't do this. Bad optics for me right now.
Right? Yeah. I got to put distance between you and me.
You
right now.
did some fuckboy
hot.
shit. You did some fuckboy shit. You did some fuckboy shit with that dumbass speech, telling these people to go to the Capitol building and do what they had to do, and then we still don't know what's gonna happen when the FBI investigation happens.
On Trump.
on Trump with the Capitol building. Those guys were ordered to open the fucking gates in order to let the people in.
Right. Something is so fugazi about that motherfucking thing. I just don't understand. I really don't.
Like
they made everybody go to lunch, fucking left the keys in the door type of shit.
they opened the gate and let them in. Like they opened the barricades and they let them in. So like that order came from somewhere. Those police officers, I can guarantee you weren't going to do it on their very, very own. Those guys have families. Those guys have, people that they got to take care of. But I'm pretty sure the order came down was like, hey, don't put no resistance. Let them in. Blah, 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 blah.
You think when they had that order, right? If you're either the policeman opening the gate or the person receiving the order, did you think that that shit in their mind was going to elevate to the way it went?
Maybe.
I mean, wasn't dude strapped in that shit? Like, that just doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Supposedly nobody got got arrested with
Right.
firearms on them. Nobody
Okay.
got arrested
Okay.
with
Okay.
firearms on them. But we don't know that at the time.
Right.
You know,
We weren't even
hindsight
right.
obviously 2020
Uh-huh.
now. But at that moment in time, when you have video of the cop waving people to come in and open the barricade, like that's that's something happened there. You know, like there's it has to be some evidence, unless he's just gonna take the payment and take whatever jail time comes with that, or whatever firing comes. I know some of those guys got suspended. A lot of, like, I think 2 guys got fired. You know, are they gonna get paid off on the back end? Maybe, but who knows?
Bro, there's a movie on Netflix called The Chicago 7 about 7 individuals who potentially incited a riot.
That shit was
Potentially,
amazing.
right? Phenomenal fucking movie. Shout out to Sasha Baron Cohen.
Yep,
The guy is just an unbelievable, not only actor but activist as well. But those dudes went to jail for just saying some shit that got some motherfucker started, right?
exactly,
I don't understand how you're not pressing charges against Trump, right?
exactly.
Like, so basically, it makes it seem like the president is absolved of any sins as long as he's the president. Now, granted, homeboy's out. I'm not really familiar with the processes that come after an impeachment, but obviously he's going to deal with that. There should be some kind of, federal charges brought against homeboy because he made everybody on the block hot. Like, if he didn't or if he didn't, start talking and get everybody all riled up to storm the Capitol, maybe people would be able to be flying. I mean, the craziest thing that I heard was they're arresting dudes and people are losing their right to go on social media. So now I think we even flirting in a whole nother space,
Correct.
right?
But
Where you know what it feels like?
yeah.
It feels like Viva Vendetta. I swear to God,
And
bro.
then it's the tough part is, unless, because he just said, because you could play with words, and his defense is going to play with words. So he could have
Oh, that's
said, you march to the Capitol and show them force, but that could be interpreted in any way. It could be show them force with your words, with your signs, with your just your mere presence on outside of the Capitol building, or it could have been what happened was they went inside and then did what they had to do, to ruffle some feathers, but we don't know what any of that could be. We don't know. Like,
right.
it could be interpreted any type of way, because he didn't say, "Hey guys, go to the Capitol building, fuck the Capitol building up," you know.
Rub your nuts all over Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Exactly. Steal the shit. Like like
the microphones.
you are not responsible for everybody's action, in a sense. If I say, go.
But according to that fucking case, it seemed like those people were responsible for those dudes' actions, which
but
is
they,
weird.
but they got absolved of that.
I got you. I get that part. So
'Cause
maybe moving forward, you can't really get at people for saying shit
unless it's
unless you do it.
correct.
Right.
Correct. So that's the tough part, But he might be held for other things. We don't know yet. We don't know.
I mean, this guy, homeboy seemed to be still almost like bulletproof, bro. The first impeachment goes down, and by some miracle, COVID shows up and flushes that shit all down the toilet, right? And then he manages it. I don't even know. I mean, I could say piss poorly, but I think everybody else wouldn't have done. It would have been a difficult situation. I just think that the way he talks and says shit just rubs people the wrong way. I know a lot of people on the left that are not fans, but you go to Texas and everybody's loving homeboy and they got flags and banners. I mean,
because they're part of a team. It's a team thing as opposed to doing the right thing. So, like, I always thought, like, if you were Republican or if you were a Democrat, it's a part of you. It's an extension of your moral values. Like, if you think women should go to jail for having abortion, that's a moral thing. Like, that's but it's just a lot of the lunatic things. Like, you could tell how somebody is, right? So, like, a lot of lunatic things and worrying about economic stuff, off the jump you're gonna be, all right, Republican.
right.
Off the jump. Give money to everybody for not working, or just give money to people and whatever, Democrat. As opposed to somebody coming and say, hey, we can do X, Y, and Z, and this is how we do X, Y, and Z. But if you're on an aisle and you believe in certain things, you're just, you're stuck in that. So if you love guns, you automatically a Republican. You know, like if you're against guns, you're automatically a Democrat. It's just stupid little things like that where that's why I don't like parties to begin with. And it's just
Do you
about a
think it's
team
too?
thing.
Do you think it's too far gone? Right, like we talked about it a few times back in the on the show's history, but like another I was gonna call them a company, but another faction emerging. You think it's just too many people on the left and the right just have their agendas, and basically it's such a long waiting list of lines of demands that when somebody that's a Democrat goes in there, they just gotta, because of all the favors that were owed, they just gotta go in that direction. And the same thing with the Republicans. It finds it's kind of difficult. I feel like even if you felt somewhere in the middle, like I think Obama was probably more of a middle guy, and
He tried to be.
eventually, right, and then eventually, due to politics, it got swayed another way.
Yeah, he tried. And that's why like people bug out like, oh my god, this he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, or they gonna do this. For the most part, we have a great system of checks and balances. So like even Obama couldn't do everything he wanted. You know, he just passed Affordable Care Act, and for the most part, that was it. You know, he has a lot of blood on his hands though due to drone strikes and shit. Like
Yeah,
he
he went crazy with that drone strike shit.
he's the king of drone strikes, and he also like he's deported more people than Trump has. You know, people don't talk about that.
Hmm.
You know, but it's just optics. It's just what people want to
Right.
hear and want to see and want to read. And we as a people have to be educated on these topics. Not saying we have to be immersed fully in politics, but just attach your moral compass and moral high ground to something. So like when you have people who are like, oh, they don't want, the Republicans are against immigration, it's like you're saying that these people are coming over the border and taking jobs, but they're not taking jobs. Most people don't want to go and pick peaches in a fucking peach farm for it's 14 hours a day for $100 a day. People don't want to do that. It's hard ass fucking work, and Americans don't want to do that job anyway. So
Yeah, I'm surprised we've been dragging our whatever on the immigration situation.
I get it. We had to have some type of control. We can't have everybody coming here, but there has to be a better way, a better system, a better path. So let's say even if we did it, let's say if you wanted to come to America, you have to pay $500,000, whatever, to buy your
That
citizenship.
sounds crazy, bro. You got to put that shit a little bit more reasonable.
But
Maybe
but I'm
10,000,
giving, but I'm
50,000.
I think that's still too small
Really?
because
500,000 is a lot. You're gonna be paying forever if you're doing
you
$20 payments a month.
but if you do if you do a $500,000 buy-in, right? You're that doesn't include the tax money that you're going to be paying taxes while paying for your citizenship. You
So you're
understand?
saying included in the tax bill, basically, like when you have to pay taxes that year, there should be some kind of America tax in the sense of getting you closer to becoming a
Yeah, like because
citizen.
you're gonna like if you're coming here for a better life anyway. So
Right.
like if you give them an incentive, hey, look, here's a goal. Your goal is you have to pay $500,000 and say in whatever X amount of time to be here. We're gonna get better people to come here, in a sense. We're gonna get doctors. We're gonna get better scientists. We're gonna get higher achieving people.
But don't you think that creates kind of a conundrum too, where and now it seems like America would be from the outside of the USA would be for the rich only. Like you would start there. You would start with people that could afford it first, because even if what if you're just like 18 years old, shit is hard in the streets, and you trying to come over here to wash dishes and grow maybe in the restaurant industry and blah 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 blah. You're not gonna have 500K out the gate, right?
No, I'm saying not out the gate. Not here. I'm at the border. Here's
Okay, good.
500K. Sign
Let's
me
make
up.
some kind of payment plan,
Yeah,
basically.
it'll be like, hey, I'm here. You have to pay 5K a year for X amount of years, kind of thing. It wouldn't. It's not gonna be like that.
No,
Like
no, no. It sounds interesting. It's better than what we got now.
exactly.
Locking motherfuckers up in jail and waiting for them to show, to send
If
them
we
back to
get
wherever
like I
they're
know
at.
other countries, like if you bring a business, I know they give you a credit, they give you housing credit, they your business transitions over there because you're bringing a business to this another country. I know there's countries out there like that, So I don't know if we have something like that, but if we did, that'd be pretty dope. Because like it's crazy how like we don't support immigrations, but immigrations get better programming for like look how many the Habibis own grocery stores. They get the loan, the small business loans real quick out here.
You think they're getting small business loans, or you think those motherfuckers they show up with like
But
a
you still,
hundred racks each of them?
even so, but look how hard they work.
Right,
Like
they grinders. They don't fuck around. They
all
keep
the
everything
stores are
up front.
24 hours, and there's
Yes,
7 of
they
them
got
in
bunk beds in the fucking basement because they
exactly.
got shifts that
But
they
people,
rotate.
but Americans don't want to do that.
No,
You know,
real
like
quick before we bury this, I just got a text. Shout out to Luch. He was telling me that the president entitled to absolute immunity from liability from charges from damages based on his official acts, and it was Nixon versus Fitzgerald, which I think is that same case. Um,
that's why like you can't bring charges against
Chicago
him while
Seven.
he's in office. So that's why
Right.
you want to impeach him first, and then you bring charges.
Mm.
That's how that works. So you impeach him, then he doesn't get he can't run again. Then he doesn't get lifetime benefits. He doesn't get $1 million a year in flying credit. He doesn't get Secret Service for the rest of his life. All that goes away if he gets impeached. So like that's why they want to impeach him to make sure he doesn't get any of those crazy benefits.
Mm.
Because I don't see a way where he could bounce back, kind of thing. He's gonna have to do in the sense of like all secret investing with
Right,
his
right, right. Basically, he tarnished the Trump name.
kind of.
They're
Can see
not.
that
They're not
happening.
enthusiastic
Because like look at
about.
even his wife's, I mean his daughter's clothing line. That shit kind of went away because people
Really?
weren't buying it anymore because of her father. You know, all that shit was going up little by little. They took the Trump signs of some of the, the buildings that that he probably did licensing with. So it could go in a myriad of ways. He is in a very unique spot. Who knows? He might even take a secret plane to go to Russia. Just
I
live.
was just gonna say I would have got the fuck out of USA for a hot minute.
Man,
Let everybody forget, rip your name off for everything, and maybe in 10, 15 years. I mean, 10, 15 years, he's probably gonna be real old. How old is homeboy?
Well, he's
65.
70. Yeah, he's 70 now. I think he's like 70.
Yeah, so I mean, look, he's been accomplished, right? He grabs pussies,
Yep.
he pees on girls. Homeboy apparently has been living the dream according to him. I mean, if he had to go away, like he could go to another, not only
Anywhere.
Russia, yeah, and
Anywhere
then
there's
just
no
lay low,
extradition. He has to go somewhere where there's no extradition.
and just lay low, and just lay low.
I can see
Man,
that happening.
I would totally do that shit. That's what I don't know why more people don't do that
If
shit.
they
If
bring
you're hot in
federal
the block,
charges against him, I could see him being in Russia with Putin ASAP, or even go to North Korea.
Yeah, but North Korea. I mean, no offense to North Koreans, but North Korea, I'm sure, is not like. I mean, look at Cuba, bro. Communism countries kind of they have a little bit of hardship. Shit is not fire. I mean, everybody thinks Cuba's the best, but that's only because it has beaches. I don't think
Yeah.
there's any beaches in North Korea. Oh my
Oh
god.
shit.
So before we get into the games and all that stuff, actually, yeah. Before we get into the games, I'll come back on this. What did you think about some of these guys' performances this weekend?
In terms of football.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll switch gears a little bit. It's so serious right out the gate.
I think I don't know. Football was really interesting. The Aaron Rodgers made the Rams look soft. You could clearly see Aaron Donald wasn't 100%.
Right.
He only played like 50% of the snaps. Jalen Ramsey for the most part had Devontae Parker. I mean
On
Devontae
Smash.
Adams on Smash.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know,
It was the other guy,
Lazard and
that emerged,
Scantling and stuff like that.
and the tight end.
Which is like surprisingly what's supposed to happen when you have a playmaker
Right.
like Devontae Adams, And that's why it's amazing Devontae Adams had 18 touchdowns this year. Because
Right.
you're the number one guy, you're getting doubled every game, sometimes tripled in every game. Like
And I don't know how many Green Bay games you watched, but it took a while for those other receivers to step up.
exactly. And even on Sunday, and even in that game, Lazard dropped like a touchdown or two. Scantling
Yeah,
dropped a touchdown. Like
Homeboy got gator arms for sure.
like there was Aaron Rodgers could have had a bigger game. They made the number one defense look, soft.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom
I
Brady.
also thought
Tom Brady.
that it was weird. Aaron is just really good, and we've seen this a lot with Lamar Jackson and some other players. But when the pocket breaks down and he's got an ad lib, good luck tackling him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think that they came into a bunch of those situations. It almost made me think about when we used to play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I missed the sack, and that's it. You scramble a little bit, and now opens the field because everybody thinks you're gonna probably move. So they come in and they get off their assignments, and he had probably 2 or 3 plays that went in his favor
and
because they had him a lot of times dead to rights. The Rams did.
Roger said that even he didn't even get touched like that. He said he felt like he didn't get touched. Like
Nah,
he got
he
pushed.
didn't
You
even
know,
get a sack.
he moved around, but you know, if you're not putting pressure on him, that doesn't matter.
I was surprised they didn't just keep fucking blitzing him. Fuck it,
He just
right? Like,
yeah,
listen,
I
we got nothing else to do.
got to
You
put him
know,
on a bad spot, and it was a good game. I thought that game was good. Uh, going to the Ravens game, it's exactly what I always thought about Lamar. You can't throw outside the numbers.
right?
You,
We seen that a little bit last week. I mean, 2 weeks ago against Tennessee.
yep.
I wonder. And look, you know, Lamar Jackson is a freak. Lamar Jackson is a hell of a competitor. I don't know if it was a good idea for him to try to go fucking run and get that ball. Like I would have took the L. You know what I mean? Like you trying to get the ball back. It's out of your way, and you're basically running. You're a smaller dude, and you're running against houses.
Yep.
I mean,
I
I
guess
just thought for him.
as you don't want to be remember like Cam did in the Super Bowl. Remember when Cam the ball right in front of him was fumbled and Cam didn't even try to jump on top of it, kind of thing.
I get you.
I don't know how he's wired. You know, what if he would have
No, I get you.
came up with the ball? He would have been fine out of that. You know, everything is fluke.
Right.
Everything is fluky.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially in the NFL and especially during the playoffs.
you know, I just it just like the Ravens defense showed up.
Yes.
You know, Bills only scored 10 points offensively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got lucky with the pick six to the crib, 103 yards, fantastic. But like,
That drive in the early third quarter was their best like march of the whole game.
but I like my boy. He's a Ravens fan. He loves the Ravens. You know, I get it's the third year. Lamar Jackson is still young, but when you got kids like Joe Burrow coming in, Justin Herbert coming in, day one and showing out, you in year three now. Like you, all right, you won the division. You went to the super. You went to the playoffs. You have higher level expectation, and people don't seem to put too much pressure on people like that. And I think that's a wrong way to do it. You know, Lamar, he's tough on himself. Have you ever seen his press conferences after losses? Like,
Yeah, he's crazy because his body language, not in a bad way. He's very much the same, but you could tell when the L really fucks with homeboy.
yep,
You know, he has somewhat the same demeanor most of the times, but yeah, you could tell. I mean, he's a very soft spoken dude.
yeah.
He's not for all the flash he brings to the field. You would think that shit would carry off the field, and it doesn't. He's a very respectful guy, very humble cat. I mean, what was it? His MVP run, Mark Ingram was trying to give him mad love, and he wouldn't even take it. Right?
Everything's team, which is a great approach.
It's amazing.
Like, I don't know what the Ravens are gonna do. They talk about giving him a big extension, and I'm like, you can't. Like, you got to be careful. Like, he's not a grand. You know, he's not a grand slam home run. You know, you got to. He has to prove that he can come back. Comeback wins show a lot, and he hasn't been able to prove
Especially for
them.
QBs, like that seems to be like a stat that they honor besides touchdowns and interceptions, right? Like Philip Rivers, most fourth quarter comebacks. Eli Manning, most fourth quarter comebacks.
Yep.
Tom Brady, fourth quarter comeback. Or Aaron Rodgers, 2-minute fucking fourth quarter comebacks. Like to be in that upper echelon. Do you think playing GM, right? Could they fill other positions and maybe take the heat off of him?
Like, my boy's trying to make a case. They don't got no wide receivers, and I'm like, I don't see that to be true. Like,
They don't though. They got bums. No offense to Marquise Brown, he's great, but he's undersized. And now, granted, undersized wide receivers have been,
Like-
a la Tyler Lockett have
Tyler
emerged. And have
Lockett, Calvin
shown.
Ridley, OBJ, Antonio Brown.
He's smaller than OBJ though, and he's smaller than Calvin Ridley. He's a little dude, bro. He's tiny. He's like my height.
But like, if you
They're
don't,
putting him on the X.
but you they keep running the fucking house
Right, the
shotgun
same
shit.
The full house.
Like, what are you gonna like? You
Amazing.
can't like, it's just like how we say with Matt Ryan and fucking Julio Jones. If you don't get your playmakers the ball, is it the playmakers' fault or is the play calling's fault or is it the
I think
quarterback's
it's
fault?
both. It's probably all three.
Because like Marquise Brown is fucking fast as fuck. Look at Tyreek Hill. He's fast as fuck, and look what he does.
Right.
Like not saying that Marquise Brown is the same level as Tyreek, but speed kills. Like you could put your playmakers in situations. You could run sweeps with him. You could put him in bubble screens. You could slants. There's shit you can do where if you're running the ball all the fucking goddamn time, running the same RPO every single time, and not trying to draw up any plays to throw the ball, stretch the field, those linebackers come up, those safeties come up. You could press coverage on the DBs. Like you gotta do something else. I don't ever see trip formations. I don't see 4 wideouts. I don't see what kind of Kyler Murray does in Arizona. I don't see any of that with Lamar Jackson. Because he doesn't have that capability.
But I also think that there might be maybe a limitation with his offensive coordinator because Greg Roman, if I'm not mistaken, also coached San Francisco and had Kaepernick while he was in San Fran, and he basically ran a very similar offense.
But Kaepernick was a better thrower of the football than Lamar.
Yes, but I'm saying maybe. So check this out, right? If you're throwing 10 times a game, you think you're going to get any better? Probably not. Right? So maybe they got to put him in a system where he's throwing 20, 30 times a game, right? Because I don't see Lamar taking crazy. Like, I've literally watched Lamar, and this is it. It's like, snap the ball to Lamar, run up the gut. Snap the ball to Lamar, RPO, Lamar runs. They do it again, RPO, Lamar runs. And then maybe they do play action to the tight end. And it's basically rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. They, and you're saying the same thing. But what I'm saying is I haven't even seen them try to get out of that. Like, I think it's design runs. I don't think it's so much Lamar running because he threw a lot of touchdowns in college. Like,
for sure. But remember, college, open space, the talent's not there.
I get you.
Who's to say that in practice he don't get picked off every time?
That's true. So
when he throws the ball outside the numbers, you know, they're not gonna report it. Hey, Lamar got picked off 7 times today in practice when they're running a wideout formation.
So you're saying that it's been said here first. Definitely, Lamar Jackson cannot be considered the future of the organization because of his limitations.
You gotta play him literally into his 5th year contract. Because
extend him, yeah.
I'm a harsh critic in everything. I have high standards for greatness. So like, people was like, my boy's like, oh well, we made it to the playoffs. I'm like, are we getting excited about just participating, or are we gonna get excited about fucking winning?
I feel you on that shit. Ask Tom Brady that shit.
Exactly, and he's 43 years old. Like
ask Tom Brady that shit.
There's too much of we went there, we were there. Right. Did you fucking win the game? Did you win this chip? Mm-hmm. You could be there all the time, forever. Great, yeah, you were in the playoffs all the goddamn time. Wow, whoop-de-fucking do. But if you're not winning the championship, kill me with all that noise. That's why,
go ahead.
With Phillip Rivers, like the debate now is he a Hall of Famer?
Shout out to Josh Booty. He says he believes he is.
Here's my rule of thumb when it comes to Hall of Fame on any sport. Mm-hmm. If you have to think about it, they're not a Hall of Famer.
He didn't hesitate. I would have not hesitated either. I think he probably has the numbers. He's like our Dan Marino, probably.
But Dan Marino was great in his era. Phillip Rivers was never a top 5 quarterback ever.
Right. That makes more sense.
So that's why I can't, the numbers are going to back it up. Just like the numbers are, I'm sorry, just because the Super Bowls is going to make Eli a Hall of Famer.
Right, yes. 100%.
I don't think Eli is a Hall of Famer.
No, not on regular season numbers. But if you look at his playoff numbers and if you look at his playoff wins,
but
100%.
But then he took down the Goliath twice.
Yes, and one of those times they were undefeated. All of that shit gets the jacket.
And then what hurts Phillip Rivers is Eli Manning didn't want to go to the Chargers, and the Chargers had to force a trade with the Giants to swap you two in the same draft, and he won. And then in his same draft, Big Ben won.
Yeah.
He never won.
No.
So cool, you have all these fucking stats and all these fucking accolades, but you never won. You never even got to play in one. and you were
I
never
think it,
considered a top five quarterback. Like if
I
you were
think
to think of great quarterbacks, he
mhm.
wouldn't be come up. He wouldn't come up. You wouldn't
no,
pick
no,
Philip
no,
Rivers.
no. I think also too, there's been maybe a bit of a family thing and a money thing because if they're paying you $30 million to just play QB, why would you leave? Right. So like he could have been mobile in the sense of what we were talking about all the time about some of these elite athletes that are flirting with greatness. Like you might have to move, bro.
Yep.
The Chargers might not be the. I mean, if Eli Manning, and at times he doesn't look like the smartest guy in the building, if Eli Manning knew within a second, I'm not playing for that organization, that should have told you something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it should have been like, all right, cool. We'll play here. We'll give it 5 years, like you always like to say. Play for that fifth year option, and if we don't get it done, then I got to go elsewhere,
But you got
right?
a lot
But
of and you like. I'm happy that Deshaun Watson wants to fuck out of Houston, which he
yo,
should.
that is the smartest shit ever.
But a lot of QBs don't do that.
No, it's because they're gonna get paid $25 million, and look at Matthew Stafford,
Yep.
right? Why the fuck isn't Matt left Detroit? Because Matt makes $30 million a year,
But look at
and if
look
he went somewhere else, he wouldn't get that money.
you can if you bet on yourself. Look at Kirk
Right?
Cousins.
I know, but it makes it seem like he doesn't. No, Kurt was one of those smart ones too.
You
Kurt
know
was like, "Get me the fuck out of here! I want to go."
yep he banked up and he caked up.
He did kick up, and he played on two, not one. This is for Dak. He played on two,
Yep.
fucking
Franchise tags.
yeah.
And then he got a fully guaranteed 3-year deal.
Yeah, fucking for like something crazy because I think he's another $30 million
He
contract.
got 30. He got a $90 million deal, fully guaranteed.
Mhm.
So he was gonna get that $90 million fully guaranteed. And then after his second year, if I'm not mistaken, going into his third year, they extended him another 3 or 4 years. And in Minnesota.
So what do you think? What do you think that that's got to be at? Because these guys got to start fucking considering this, where it cannot just be wide receivers and running backs continually trying to look for new homes. Like if you're trying to win a chip, you got to make. I mean, no one thought Tom Brady was gonna leave New England, and that motherfucker was like, "I'm out."
Yep.
You motherfuckers ain't got no tight ends, no wideouts, no running backs. I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yep. And that's the way it should be. Because like even they were saying like what was all the money that supposedly the Tom Brady's taking a pay cut, but where's all the money? Where's all the skill position players?
Yeah, that was crazy. That almost seems like you're fucking me. Because
Exactly.
if you're not paying me,
Where's my Pro Bowl wide receivers? Where's my Pro Bowl tight end? Where's my Pro Bowl running backs? Where are all these guys at? And it sucks because like running backs you hit or miss, but you still need weapons. And
100%.
and they didn't do a service. And hopefully these quarterbacks coming up, hopefully, Deshaun does what LeBron did until you take your career into your own hands, start signing these 2-year deals, and they in the NFL, if you're a great quarterback, you're gonna get picked up no matter what.
100%. Unless you're a fucking Colin Kaepernick, but yeah,
You're not gonna like Deshaun Watson's always gonna have a job. Russell Wilson's always gonna have a job.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers is always gonna have a job.
Guys, the top 10 dudes are always going to be
Even
working.
if you took an injury, a torn ACL, torn
Someone's
MCL,
going to take a chance. Someone's going to take a
exactly.
chance. Like, look at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is definitely going to get a fucking job,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
I don't know so much about golf, but
Even though
he's
he's
still going to get hired.
and they both set. Even though Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, they in their contracts, then they have like 2 years, 3 years left on their deals because they both extended. But even if they were in the last year of their deal, or like look at Dwayne Haskins, he just got picked up today.
I know, but was it official by the Steelers?
Yeah, they picked him up. Like
Shout out to Mike Tomlin, bro. This motherfucking dude just gets dudes he's kind of like the new Belichick, where he gets guys that are kind of like on the fringe mentally and fucking corrals them in, and they just start producing filthy.
and you just never know. Maybe you get through to him. Dwayne turns around.
Right, exactly.
And
You're
you
like,
got
let me holler at my
somebody-
man. Maybe talking. I mean, they probably would never do it, but probably, like for Odell, that would be a great place for him to go. In the sense of like when you're talking about coaching and saying like, yo, my man, have a seat, relax, take it easy. I know you dope, but let me show you what's really going on here.
Exactly.
You ain't winning shit with all your shit you talking. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hold on, I want to go back a little bit because I'm gonna be jumping all over the place because now we got excited. I'm stoked. Let's go back. What did you think? Speaking about these guys and upward mobility, what did you think about Breeze's performance against Brady or against the Tampa Bay defense, which is better because he wasn't really playing Brady. but technically he was because statistically they were trying to get match each
Yeah, for
other,
sure.
right?
I just thought, supposedly Michael Thomas wasn't 100%. Supposedly Michael Thomas needs like 3 or 4 surgeries, something like that.
Well, what's ailing Mr.
I think
Thomas?
his ankle, a toe, knee,
Thomas
shoulder.
needs to get the fuck out of New Orleans if I'm
That's
him.
but and then he signed a big deal, 5 year,
I know.
100 million. Like you take the money, that
Right,
shit
so that they
happens.
can't say that they care about winning so much, right? Because you signing mega deals, not a contract, bro. Mega deal.
Exactly. I thought just
He's done, right?
yeah, I think he's gonna retire. I think
I'm just saying, like, based on what you've seen, it's not there. Homeboys,
I just think that he's for the most part they've been contenders the last 4 or 5 years,
right?
and it's heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after
Until
heartbreak,
you got home, they garbage
and
in the
it's
play.
just I think it's time for them to. I think it's time for them to
Bro,
hang it up.
when you have Jason Tatum or
Taysom Hill.
thank you, Taysom Hill taking snaps from you, and you got famous Jameis taking snaps from you. I think the writing's on the wall, right? I mean,
The fact that famous Jameis threw a 56-yard touchdown in the
that's what
game.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like I bet you there was a part of Peyton who was like, "Yo, I think I
Right.
might need to bench homeboy right now."
I would have thought. Let me tell you something. Once we were down, I would have considered it for sure.
And I'm pretty sure he did, but I'm pretty sure I
You
have a
wanted to
feeling.
let him get the moment to walk off in the sunset type of
I
shit.
think he had probably had a conversation before the game with him and said, "Hey, this if we lose, this is my last game. Oh, this is this is my last
Oh, he
playoff
probably
run."
talking about Breeze to the
Breeze to
coach.
Peyton probably they said behind closed doors and was like, "Hey, it's like 95% sure
I'm done.
I'm done," kind of thing, And Tom Brady's mystique in the playoffs, man. That
Homeboy's just unbelievable, bro.
I
He's
think
just
I think
unbelievable,
the Bucks played inspired. They're like, oh, we have the GOAT on our team right now. So that defense played inspired. You have maybe the Saints. They thought they were too full of themselves as well because they're like, oh, we beat these guys twice in the regular season. We fucking dismantled them in the regular season. They couldn't fuck with us.
Yep.
And who knows? They probably got in their own way. They probably got in their own way mentally. Put the proverbial foot in their own asses, and Tom Brady came to play, man. I gotta respect the homeboy.
Let me tell you something. You know me, bro. We go way back. I've been
Mm-hmm.
rocking Homeboy for a hot minute. I was a believer in '04. I was a believer in '06. Like, I knew that Homeboy's recipe for winning is a great one. I just didn't think it would have translated so quickly down in Tampa Bay, even though they were loaded. And I'm gonna get back to that in a second. But I wanted to ask you something else. So you watch all the games, right?
Yeah,
This past weekend. So what did you think about? We'll start with this. What did you think about Baker's performance?
I think he did enough of in his intangibles to win the game.
And it wasn't him. They kind of got fucked out of that game, technically, right? Or not technically, kind of, sort of. What do you think?
Maybe it's just tough, like they always say, like everything's never gonna go perfect for you
100%.
as a franchise quarterback.
I think in life, you can
And-
plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather, right? Isn't that what Outcast talks about?
Yep. So like, are you gonna if your guard isn't there, or if your guard is coming back off a COVID thing, or like I don't know. I think he's another one who's like the Browns got to be careful with how much money they pay him,
I agree too.
kind of thing. Like you don't know what is gonna happen. Like Patrick Mahomes is out for the middle of the third quarter to the whole fourth quarter. Like
I felt like they should have started smoking them. And I'm surprised. Do you feel you watched the whole game? First of all, what did you think of their play calling offensively in the first and second quarter?
the Browns,
Yes.
I thought they were playing to not lose.
Right. I talk about that shit all the time. I think a lot of NFL coaches do that shit.
Yeah,
They
because
play not to lose.
it-
You
it-
can't
it-
do that.
it
Can't
comes
do
down
that in
to
football.
winning and losing, and then your job being secure, your job not being secure. If you get slapped all the time, you're gonna get fired. So like, I'm pretty sure everything is it's a slippery slope trying to manage all these egos and all these people, and then manage the ownership and balance
Do you
home.
think? Do you think Stefanski kind of went away from what they were good at because they didn't start feeding the rock to Chubbies until late, almost when it was too late? Like, why didn't you start out the gate with a ground game? They were trying to get cute, and let's say on a second and long, third and long, they're trying to fucking do a screen to Chubbs that got blown up a bunch of times instead of maybe involving Kareem Hunt into the game. Like I felt like they, like you said, they were playing not to lose, and it showed on the field.
But I also, and it's Baker. Baker is a little bit better than Lamar Jackson in a sense of throwing the football
Right.
outside of numbers. But he doesn't have a cannon like Josh Allen. He's not that tall. He's like 5'11".
Mm-hmm. He's like the poor man's Drew Brees.
Exactly. So like you gotta put yourself in a better situation. You gotta put him in spots where he can succeed. And I don't think they did that in that game with him. But it's his limitations.
Are they better next year with Odell?
I don't know. They were worse with him this year
Right.
because Baker wasn't mentally strong enough
Uh huh.
to feed everybody else. Like if they had Matt Ryan, let's say for instance the Browns, they probably win with OBJ
Right.
because he's gonna hit everybody else who's one on one. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage. He's not gonna force it to Odell and then throw bad balls to Odell. Like that was another thing with Odell. You would give Odell the ball low, high, behind him, to the left, to the right. And then bad ball just to say, hey, look, I'm getting you the ball in a sense, as opposed to getting him the ball and putting it in his hands to make a play. So Baker plays a big burden in this because I'm pretty sure the Chiefs had like I said, Andy Reid's like the GOAT coming out of bye weeks. He came out of the bye week.
He fucking won a game with Chad Henning, bro.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Anything is possible.
I feel you. That was a great hashtag. I hashed it out for a couple of our picks. I mean, do you know that was something that I brought up? Shout out to Uncle Salty. Why didn't the fucking Ravens have a competent backup to run their offense?
Well, they had Robert Griffin, but remember Robert
That's
Griffin got
not
hurt.
a competent fucking guy. I'm sorry. Neither is the other kid they had. I love you, RG3. You were one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen. But I'm talking about they went from Patrick Mahomes to Chad Henning. You could have had one of those. You could have had I'm not saying Blaine Gabbert would have won if that was a role reversal. But there's a bunch of dudes that they could have had, on the bench just in case.
I don't remember because when you go into those games, you have to make sure your roster is active.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So
I would totally not saying that you're thinking that Lamar is going to get hit, but Lamar be doing some crazy shit. I'm always thinking like, damn, there's a chance.
But you got to be like, all right, should I carry another quarterback or should I have
another DN or another wide receiver or another
linebacker
or another tight end? I get
DB.
you. I understand that. I just thought that it just shows. And this is weird to say because usually the coach of the Ravens, he's pretty dialed, but that's how dialed Andy Reid was. Andy Reid didn't have some project quarterback sitting on the bench just in case. He had a legitimate dude who's been in the league 13 years and knew what the fuck he was doing.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe they should have got Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback.
Facts. I would have took that. Famous got a gun. Got a gun, and Famous does not give a fuck.
Yep.
He will keep airing it out over and over.
I see him starting next year for the Saints.
Do you think he could get coached up with having a guy like Peyton in his corner? Because he didn't do. I mean, he did all right with Arians. I just don't know. Sometimes he looks like he gets rattled and he just forces the rock.
Again, you have to put look at let's say he's like Jared Goff, right? He's not a great quarterback, but McVay puts him in perfect spots.
That's true.
Like, hey, in 10 yards, this guy's always going to be open because this.
I mean, he made Taysom Hill look like a fucking rock star.
Exactly. So I think if you can make Taysom Hill look like that, you could definitely make Jameis look decent.
I almost feel like they should have signed Teddy, but Teddy, for whatever reason, kind of is borderlining on injury prone. Right? He got injured last year. You can't play a full season of football.
You didn't want to pay 3 quarterbacks $20 million. That's the issue.
That's true. They got a lot of fucking quarterbacks apparently over there in New Orleans.
I I would have thought that would have been a perfect successor to Drew Brees. You would have signed Teddy to Bridgewater. He won 5 games without with Drew Brees not being there. He went
Hmm.
5-0. He already understood the verbiage. You would have got yourself a decent quarterback. You wouldn't have to overpay for him either.
Hmm.
You could put that money on other playmakers, better tight end. I don't know.
What um what did you think about Patrick's injury? Did you think that it was fluky? Did you think that the guy maybe added a little extra? Thought he was in the WWE, or was it a clean play?
You got to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't have a history of being dirty.
Okay, fair.
So we got to go, along those lines. And I just thought, it's playoff time. I got to get homeboy to the ground.
That's true. So
You
whatever the fuck we got to do, grab jersey, maybe take the
it,
head down with me, body slam homeboy.
exactly. So
Is this
like,
gonna be a thing? Like
it probably was. They said it's a fluke injury. They said that you could get a nerve could do that to you. A nerve, like the way his neck
he looked
turned.
like he got fucking rocked
Yeah,
when he got up.
because his neck. They said that it could have been his neck because supposedly you saw he got up and ran to the
Yeah,
to the
he
tunnel.
after he got up,
Yeah,
he was coherent.
yeah.
But when he first tried to stand, his legs were like, nah, daddy, we need to just
Have a
take
good night. Relax. I think like what players should do at those times is like relax on the ground for a minute.
Yeah,
Because I think
agree.
I think
I
if he
agree.
would have relaxed on the ground for a second and maybe say, hey, like, oh, my chest hurts or something, and just stayed on the ground, got a breath, let his
It
thoughts
would have
come
gave
back.
him a little bit of a moment of clarity instead of putting him in the fucking protocol, and then now he's probably out of the game.
Exactly. I think he would have had a chance to come back in the game because supposedly he passed all the protocol tests with flying colors. He was, the concussion wasn't it, but like once you stand up and you wobble,
That's it. You done.
you're done.
The NFL is not gonna fucking fuck around with that.
Exactly.
So now they play the Bills. You think they're gonna smack them?
I think so. I don't think the Bills could score enough points.
I don't know. The Bills are such a weird team. Sometimes they come in and they drop 40, and then other times they struggle to score. You think it's a running game issue? Because I think they just don't have a really good running game.
They don't. They don't. Because I had Devin Singletary. They didn't give him the ball at all.
And Devin Singletary, I think is kind of a beast. I don't even like. Is it Moss?
Zach Moss, yeah.
I'm like,
And he got injured, Zach
right.
Moss. So I don't think he's playing this week coming up. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what to do. To be honest, I didn't think the Buffalo was gonna make it this far.
Come on, bro. You gotta believe.
Like if Lamar was like I know we're going back to the other game.
No. Yeah. No. It's okay. We're going all over the place.
If Justin Tucker doesn't miss those 2 field goals, we don't know what.
Fuck, what a situation, bro. How crazy was that? I think that played a lot of factor into it too. It must have been cold like a motherfucker.
And windy.
there, bro. Yeah.
Ridiculously windy.
Which means it's worse. Because you're from
Exactly.
NYC just like me, bro. When it's cold and it's windy, that shit is brutal.
And they in
wants
Buffalo
that-
by Canada, so it's fucking cold.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
And windy.
Like nobody wants that shit. I couldn't believe it. The most surest kicker on the planet. He almost missed 3.
Yep.
That third one barely got through.
Yep. I going same with the Bills. If Patrick's 100%, I don't see anybody beating them.
They're so good, bro. Is it disgusting that they're that good?
It's crazy,
Right?
crazy, and
They
they got
just-
a chance to do something special.
Yeah, agreed. It never, I told somebody, I was telling again, shout out to Uncle Salty, because he's a huge Chiefs fan and he's been chiefing it for a minute. But when you have arguably the best QB, best tight end, and best quarterback, coupled with one of the best coaches in history, holy fuck, bro, you could dominate for a long time. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really they look head and shoulders offensively, even schematically, over all the other teams. Like they don't play to lose.
They
They
look
play to rock you.
they play like even they play like they're never worried that they're gonna be from behind.
No.
Like
Even
they're
if it's
gonna always come back.
3 TDs, he did it a year ago when they ran it to the Super Bowl. They came back 3 games down 10 or down double-digit points. I think the statistic was.
So
And
like Patty, until I see like just like I do with Tom Brady, until the clock says 0 and the game
Right.
is over and the other team has more points, you can't bet against them. And I just don't see anybody beating. Like if we get let's say we get lucky, we get whoever comes out of Tampa and Green Bay. If we get Chiefs, versus any of those teams. It's gonna be a fucking crazy shootout. I believe it's gonna be a great. I think it's gonna be a dope ass Super Bowl. It won't be like the Rams and Patriots. It's gonna be a dope ass Super Bowl.
So check this out, and I wanted to. We'll go back because Brady's thing, but I got a couple of things that I wanted to backtrack on. But TB, right? I said it today on one of my other shows. TB plays in TB, and the Super Bowl, if they win, will be in TB. If Homeboy does it, I always like saying this. We know he's the man. 32-11. What was it, like 12 titles? I don't know how many motherfucking AFC championships Homeboy's got. He got like motherfucking a Purple Heart, a Silver Star. Homeboy got all the trophies in the cabinet. With this, again, I always say it. I mean, like, will people never be able to touch my man's legacy if he's the first guy to win at home?
Oh, like in his own stadium.
Yeah, in the own building. Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, it's kind of like drew up meant to be.
Right. TB plus TB
Exactly.
equals SB.
That's a good shirt.
Right? That'll be fire.
That's what it looks like. That's what it's looking like.
No, I don't want to get too much because I want to save some of this for the other games. So let's not go too much. But finish your thought because I want to keep some of the juice when we really break down these games.
Okay, guys, and he looked phenomenal against the Saints. You know, he looked like he was like 30 years old. Like at some.
Did you see that one pass he zipped to the guy on the sidelines and Homeboy caught it? Yep. It was just all hands.
Yep.
And it looked like Homeboy was not catching that.
It looked like he threw, at some points in the game, it looked like he threw the ball too hard.
Right. Yes.
Like some of the guys was just like, oh, dropped, like oh shit.
Yeah, that happened a lot to Godwin. Yep. Because Godwin had two in his hands, guaranteed one was a touchdown, and then one was probably, I think, a third and short. Homeboy's just dialed.
It should have been, they could have got 50, 60 points on the Saints.
Right. Yes.
A couple of drop touchdowns. Mike Evans really didn't do much. He just got the one touchdown catch, 2 yards.
Right. But I think that it was by circumstance because they were all over.
No, Mike for sure, because they got Marshawn Lattimore.
Right, right. Who I think is one of the best, and we're gonna do it sometime soon, if not this month, next month. My favorite, or I think the best DBs, and Marshawn Lattimore is definitely up there. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's for sure shut down. I think they said something crazy, like the Saints were like top 3, top 4, if not top 5 defense in the league. So they're not
bums.
He's that no. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, so I want to touch one more thing, then go back, and then we'll start to dig into some other stuff. So I wanted to say, do you think Belichick kicking himself in the foot or kicking himself in the ass for letting Tom go and not getting in pieces?
I think it was a perfect storm for the Patriots to look bad. So first you have COVID, right? Mm-hmm. So that doesn't help. So then
that was terrible.
Your historic defense. Eight of them are gone,
right,
due to opting out because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So you have 8 of your
best players potentially,
basically on your defensive end opt out. And then you
let go of Brady.
You're feuding with Brady for 2-3 years already. Mm-hmm. So that adds into the perfect storm. Mm-hmm. And then if you devise the plan with Brady and was like, hey, we're gonna go get we're gonna give a first round pick away. We're gonna go get you OBJ. We're gonna go get you Julio Jones. We're gonna get you a decent tight end. Get him some weapons. I think Brady would have stayed. I think Bill Belichick kind of wants to be like, I did it without him, kind of thing. I think
they both felt that way
for sure,
right? For
sure. But like Brady, Bill Belichick is known to be more stoic and more distant and more like, I'm gonna get rid of players before they fall off a cliff, a la Gronk, a la Simeon Rice, Jamie Collins, all these guys he got rid of right before they fucking fell off a cliff. Like even the homeboy, the DB that he didn't play, he got rid of him in Tennessee. He didn't really do anything in Tennessee. Like he didn't make any Pro Bowls or anything like that. Like Malcolm Butler,
he got rid of Richard Seymour.
Yep, he got look at
a player like All-Star, All-Pro.
He got rid of Deion Lewis. Right. and then he went to Tennessee. They
homeboy is not afraid to move off of guys.
And then he wanted to go with Jimmy
than
G.
Anybody else.
He wanted to go with Jimmy G, and then that shit went sour. It's like, oh, you you
You're
forced me to
favoring
keep.
homeboy more than me.
Exactly. So it was a perfect storm.
So it was just it's just by circumstance, not so much like potentially Bill knew that the writing was on the wall, seeing all these different things unfold.
Correct. And like if the only thing Bill could do is do some big dick shit and give like 3 first-round picks to Houston and get Deshaun Watson, and then
Right.
go,
So now,
you know,
right.
rebuild the team, get playmakers, and come back with a vengeance.
So that's what I was going to bring up, which is perfect that you tied into me. So Deshaun, right? He's obviously going to get the hell out of Dodge. They're obviously entertaining things. I told you last week. I think should Belichick pull the trigger on something like that?
He should. It's a pretty proven product. He does good. He does a good job with players who are already proven themselves. He
Right.
goes and gets them that are already
Yes.
proven. But it's is he gonna go and spend the capital and spend the picks to go get talent and coach up that talent and do a good job with them?
Who do you think, based on all the stuff, cap room, picks, situations, have the best chance besides Miami? Because we know he wants to go to Miami. Besides Miami, where else is logical? I know the Jets are being thrown around there, but the Jets are a dumpster fire. I don't think. I mean, I'm happy that they hired the guy they hired. He looks good, but their proven history on signing players and trading for players never really works out.
Um, if you had to, if you wanted to play crazy GM, you could trade. Jacksonville could back out and just demolish Houston for almost all their picks.
But do you think that Houston would pull that trigger? They wouldn't want to get fucked and look like an asshole within the division, right?
You're
Like
getting
that's
Trevor Lawrence.
right. No, I get you. I mean,
So-
you could trade up the first round pick overall. I mean, that might be really high price to pay, but for Deshaun Watson, I'd pay for that
For sure.
if I was Jacksonville.
You know, you
But you just get one pick, bro. You don't get 2 and 3.
that's not gonna happen. I could say that right
Oh, I
now.
know. But,
Because you're getting a potential great player for a player who's already great right now. So that's why you have to play multiple picks.
I get you, but still, you're getting the number 1 overall pick,
So?
which potentially you could trade back and do a whole bunch of stuff with.
Peep this. The last 30 years, guess how many number 1 picks won the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna say 0 if I had to guess.
So if you're going by that logic, if you're going to 0, right?
Then the number 1 pick is not valuable.
Exactly. And the answer is 2.
Jesus Christ, who are the 2?
Peyton Manning,
And
Eli
John
Manning.
Elway. Oh, overall?
number 1 overall pick who won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So if you put it into that perspective,
Right.
Trevor
There's no
Lawrence is not
fucking
in a good.
No, he's not. Trevor, tanking for Trevor really didn't seem like a good idea.
Exactly. So like, you would want to get a guy. I'm saying, sorry. Think about another teams. Other teams you could do. It could be the Colts.
I think the Colts is probably another great place.
You got a great
But
defense.
again, in division, right? Which sucks. What about G-Men? G-Men, would you guys go for it? If you were GM, general manager of the Giants,
Yep.
you go?
Yesterday.
Facts.
Yesterday.
You know what was an interesting point? Again, shout out to Josh Booty. You know what he talked about? He said that when he was speaking specifically to Deshaun Watson, but he was saying that Deshaun is going to be a player that's going to complete your team.
Yep.
If you're Deshaun Watson, you do not want to go to a team that's rebuilding,
Nope.
right? So that definitely takes the Jets out.
The fact that he played 1 year, he was traveling on bus with a punctured lung because he couldn't fly. And the only way he could play, he would have to drive to all these games in a bus, in an RV. Shows how much commitment and tangibles and
He's
leadership he has.
unbelievable, bro. Didn't he win 2 national fucking titles?
He won one. He went to 2. He won 1.
Okay,
He could have
one.
won 2 in a row, but he won. He lost the first one and then won the second one. But I would love him to come to the Giants. That would be fucking phenomenal because there's no quarterback in our division. So like,
Right, they're fucking up.
that would be
right now,
perfect.
too.
I'll trade Saquon and I'll trade Daniel Jones and a first round pick to get Deshaun. You know, our defense is young. Our defense showed that they could bang with anybody. You know, if Daniel Jones doesn't fucking fumble the ball when he
Or fall on his face when he's running.
running an 85-yard run wide open and he falls by himself, Like
at least my man Sam Darnold could at least run to the house.
exactly.
As
So
trash
like
as
Deshaun would be
Homeboy.
perfect. You know, I wanted like when the reports a couple years ago when they were like that Russell Wilson wanted to come to the Giants because Ciara wanted to go to New York and blah 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 blah. I think she was just they were just using that to get the Seahawks to pay
Mhm,
them Piper. But
mhm.
like when that story came out, I was like, please Russell come to New York. That'll be. I was excited when I heard the rumors. Like he always wants to be a Giant.
Really?
And yeah, he always wanted to be a Giant. You know, he wanted to be a Yankee. He got drafted by the Yankees. You know,
No, I
and
don't think.
Texas.
No,
He got
no,
drafted by
you're right.
Texas, and then he got
And
traded to
then
the Yankees.
yeah.
Um, it's just it would have been a dope. That would have been dope. I'm trying to think of other teams. If you want to get crazy, the Browns.
Right,
You could train to Browns step up. Here, take Baker. There's a couple picks. Now you got everything you need.
right.
Now
Got a
you
running
now
game.
you could keep OBJ.
Facts. Yes.
And you got the playmaker he's gonna do whatever he can do. You'll keep Landry in the middle of the field. You got two running backs. You got the two tight ends. Instead of one. It's the possibilities are endless. You could get crazy. You could do the Ravens, even though they're not gonna trade Deshaun. But if they want to take advantage of that defense, the Ravens could trade for Lamar and Deshaun straight up kind
And
of thing.
Deshaun could run a lot of that offense too.
Exactly, and he could
Right.
they
The
could even
RPO.
change the offense and do something else completely,
Right. Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
mix
But I'm
that
saying
in.
like it wouldn't be a big like technique or not a scheme change for them
Or if you
if
want to
they
get
had.
real crazy, you could go and he could go to the Saints.
Yeah, that seems like freaking like crazy. You got Michael Thomas, you got Alvin Kamara, you're good. Jared, Mr. Cook. I mean, I know he said he dropped that ball, but I mean they're loaded too.
Yep, the defense is fucking solid. He could go there. Like there's a lot of places where he could pick up and go. You know, San Francisco. I could see that happening too.
Yeah, that's another great place too.
You
They
know,
have a lot of emerging talent.
exactly. The Jets, if they want to be smart, they could even go after him and then go and just start getting free agents.
Yeah,
I would go get
start
crazy.
signing motherfuckers like crazy.
I would trade for Deshaun. I would trade for OBJ. I would get other shit on the wire. You know, maybe draft. I would probably draft a running back. Trade back and then draft a running back. Help them out. Get some more offensive linemen.
The problem with that is that once you trade for Deshaun, there is no picks,
It, de- it depends. You have the number
right?
two
You know what I
pick,
mean?
right?
Right,
So like
right.
you could trade the number two pick, one your first round pick, and let's say a third round pick. You could do that.
No, no, no. I get you. But what I'm saying is, if you trade for Deshaun, you don't have nothing to trade for, so you have to give those picks away. So that too is gone.
Yeah, but you're getting Deshaun Watson.
No, no, I get that. I get that. What I'm saying is, like, they would have to be really, really clever with picks 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 because they're gonna whoever gets Deshaun Watson is gonna mortgage their future on him
Yep.
because I think the asking price for Deshaun is 3 first rounders.
But if he makes it different, remember he has a no trade clause.
Right. So he gets to go. He gets to
So
pick.
if they
where he wants to go.
if he says I'm going to the Jets, he's going to the Jets.
Right.
And
But if the story comes out already that he's going to Florida,
For
I mean, I
sure.
think that's interesting.
But if he says I'm going to the Jets, and if he's smart enough, which is like it remind me a little bit of Carmelo Anthony, and I'll tie that in. If he goes to the Jets, he'll be like, all right, Jets on the back end, don't fucking give the farm away. I'm coming anyway. Give 2 second round picks and a third round pick.
Oh, you're saying like he could bring the value down of what's being asked
Correct.
for him.
Because he's going there.
Right.
So why would you want to go from one situation
right a
to
shitty
another similar situation?
right a bare cupboard to a fucking empty closet?
So
You're
he could
what?
be like, "Hey, listen, I'm coming. I'm talking to management now. Just give a second round pick and a third round pick, and cash considerations, and Sam Darnold, or some shit like that. You could do that trade.
No, I agree. I agree.
So
That
like
makes sense. That makes sense.
tying Carmelo Anthony into this whole situation is like when he forced a trade out of Denver to come to the Knicks. The Knicks gave away all their fucking talent and decimated them.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid. We've never recovered from that trade.
So if he would have been like, yo, I'm coming in the offseason anyway, do not give away Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, Timothy Mozgov, all these players that I could use when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
We're golden. All you need is me in the fold, and we Gucci. We're gonna be coming to town. But he wanted to force his way out of Denver, and the Knicks gave up all their pick, all their emerging young talent and
Everything.
picks, and
Every fucking
and
thing,
and
bro.
Carmelo never could reach his
No.
potential, and that's why I don't understand. Like I respect LeBron for what he does. Sign 1 year and a player option. 1 year and a player option. Because then you have leverage. You make sure the fucking organization does what you tell the organization to do.
He might go down as one of not only the greatest players, but just a really, really keen understanding of just how it all works. Because I'm not gonna tether myself to you guys to the point where I can't leave to continue my greatness, right? Like I'm not stuck here.
Yep.
Which this is probably the first time in a minute we've seen this happen in the NFL. Because usually quarterbacks are not saying in the NFL, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Yep.
They have to wait.
And they
Until they're
need
free
to do that more often.
No, I agree, bro. I agree. So, I had another story, but I think we talked about it a little bit. I'll see how the tea leaves go because I don't know. Are all the coaching vacancies full?
I think Houston's the last one.
Okay.
I think
So,
the Colts just did theirs. The Eagles just did theirs today. They
yeah.
did
They got
theirs
a
today.
bump.
So I
They
think
got a bump.
I think.
All right. So I'll save it.
Houston's
I'll save it
left.
for next week. I know it's trending, but I'll save it for next week. So right now we completed 2 weeks in a row. We did the top wide receivers.
Mhm.
We did the top quarterbacks over the last 3 years, and now we're gonna do the top running backs over the last 3 years. All right. Just for the folks that if they're still not watching, top wide receivers were
D Hop,
yeah. I was gonna say DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek,
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Did we put Julio in that mofo?
No,
No, right? Shit, I'm drawing a blank now. I gotta bring it back up. I know QBs, bro. I started some shit on Twitter. Motherfuckers were losing their mind on Twitter. Once I started the top QB shit, everybody was going all over the fucking place because everybody wants to put Rodgers for sure at 2, Patrick at 3, Brady somewhere low. But I'll get the recap and we'll do it next week. Maybe we do best DBs and I'll give the recap. But out the gate for our top running back, it's easy, right? King Henry,
for sure.
right?
Yep.
Number 2 is probably easy too. Nick
Kamara.
Chubbs. You gonna go Kamara?
I'll go Kamara.
All right.
I'll go Nick Chubb's 3.
All right. Boom. So now that puts what? Zeke at 4?
You said the last 3 years. You said the last 3 years. He did.
I know, Papa. Zeke is trash. I know.
He's been trending
But it's hard
downwards.
because there's not a lot of guys, bro. There's so much fucking like movement on the running back situation that is hard. Actually, you know what? Looking at it now, I would say Dalvin Cook,
Yes.
right?
4
4?
Dalvin Cook.
For sure. All right, let me see who
So I
else we
got
got.
Henry,
You got
Kamara, Chubb, Cook, and who else?
let me see here. It's not looking good.
Because so many running back by
Oh, how
committees.
about would you consider last 3 years he could make the cut? Maybe Josh Jacobs.
This is his 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. This is officially his 3rd year.
No, second year, right? No, second. Yes, this is the second year.
Okay. So still,
He's still young.
bro, there's not much, bro.
There isn't much.
So you gotta put Zeke then at Cinco.
You would have to just by default.
Yeah, by default. What about Aaron Jones? You think he's been putting up enough numbers the last few seasons? No one really talks about this guy.
That's true. He could be up there. He could finish number 5.
Right? He be doing shit.
It's tough.
It is tough. I want to see his stats. How about Saquon? Oh my God! I know you're not a fan. They should send him to the Jets, bro. I would totally take him.
You could take him.
His dad is a Jets fan for a long time. I'll take him. All right, let's see. I mean, he got all right numbers. Jones, 2018, barely. I mean, it must have been a half year for him, or he must have just been leaking in. But 728 yards, 8 TDs, and then 2019 explodes 1,016 touchdowns, and then in 2002 again, another 1,000-yard season, 9 TDs.
It's crazy how fast these players move.
Right, and not only that, how fast they run out of juice.
Especially running backs.
Yes.
So you would have to put Aaron Jones 5.
It seemed like.
Oh no! Wait! I'm being disrespectful. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. I feel like we're being way disrespectful.
5 is Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, whoa! He can't even be at 5. I put him way higher than that.
No, you have.
I put him over Cook. Yeah.
Okay.
He's dynamic. I mean, this is the first year he's been. No. Listen, this is the first year he's been injured. Yeah. But he's the complete back. He could catch. He can catch out of that backfield block. I get that, but Dalvin's been hurt like 2 of the last 3 years too.
Is it?
See, here we go. This is when it gets juicy. All right, let me see. Let me see this fool's numbers. Let's go Dalvin first, and then take a look at this and see where we're at here. Okay, so he's been in the league 4 years, and same kind of deal. So 2018, kind of like Jones, emerged, if not injured. His rookie year was 2017. But this has to be an injury-plagued season. So injury-plagued season, he gets 615 on the ground, 2 TDs. Obviously, that's not great. But 2019, homeboy goes bananas. 1,100 plus on the ground, 13 touchdowns. And this year, he just went filthy. Over 300 attempts, 1,500 in change yards, and 16 TDs.
Exactly.
Right, so but let's look at they already know who I'm looking for. They're listening to my conversation.
That's basically just 6.
So he's tough too, because of his rookie year they eased him in again. So 435 yards, 2 TDs, crushes in 18. 2018 he crushes 1,000 yards, 7 TDs. Had obviously an MVP season last year at 1387, 15, but then this year only 225 due to injury and 5 TDs. So he kind of dropped off too. So maybe they're at the same position then, right?
So 5, 6. You could change them.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. No, you mean 4, 5.
4 is it? No, we got Henry.
Yeah. Let me look at Henry here.
So we got Henry. Kamara, Henry Kamara.
Oh yeah,
Chubb.
Holy shit,
Cook.
Yo, bro, why is nobody talking about this? Is this true? He broke 2,000.
Yeah, this year.
He's a 2K running back.
Yep.
Wow.
This year.
That's it. It's over for him. I call it right now. It's over. There's no way, bro. He almost ran the ball 400 times.
Jesus Christ, he's a big man. He's a big motherfucker.
Bro, they gave that motherfucker the ball 378 times.
And that doesn't count how many catches did he get.
I didn't see that. I'll look at it. But is this true too? Bro, I think if I'm not mistaken, that can't be possible. I gotta look at this shit even closer. Hold on. It says that he I think it says here that he caught 19 touchdowns, but that's impossible.
No shot.
Right? He got 17 touchdowns though as a running back though, which is crazy. Yeah.
So it's definitely King Henry, Kamara.
King Henry for sure. There's a reason why he's at the top.
Yep,
I think Alvin it makes a crazy case though for his shit because he is the complete back.
He can't just he's elusive between the tackles, but like
not the same, right?
If we're talking about pure running back running the ball,
that's true. That's true.
It's King Henry.
That's what I was gonna say. So look at this. You gotta drop him. You have to drop him because look. So year 1, 2017 comes in. His attempts were crazy, but 728 yards. 18 only 883 yards. 19 only 797 yards. And then 2002 he barely cracked 1,000 at 932.
Kamara.
So correct. So based on that, because I'm gonna look at Chubby's next, he has to be 3 then. Because Chubb's is a straight runner.
As a pure runner, then you could say Chubb could be 2.
Yeah. So let's see
It's
Chubby's.
just like Kamara probably
Yeah.
gets like 50, 60 catches, another 1,000 yards in the air.
Right. Like I'm saying, complete back. He just brings so much more to the field. I don't know, bro. Yeah, you got to put Chubbs at two. So in his rookie year, he almost ran for 1,000 yards
Yep, and he missed at the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
of this year.
Even well, how much did he have
His
his
rookie
rookie
year?
year?
Wow.
How many games his rookie year?
It doesn't say. It just says he had 192 attempts. I'm just looking at straight up stats.
Okay.
So, and then 18. So that's 18. 19, just ridiculous. Almost 300 carries, 1,500 yards, eight TDs. And then in 2020, he played again, like, let's say 11 games. And in 11 games, he scored 1,000 plus and 12 touchdowns.
You see, his rookie year, he only played 9 games.
Okay. And then did you check that? So, and then his shit is crazy. He's barely played any games, and his numbers are just off the chain.
Yeah, so he has 996 his rookie year. Next year, he ran for almost 1,500 yards.
Right.
And then this year, he ran for over 1,000. But
Right.
and he missed 4
Another
games.
right. Another bunch of games. So his numbers are actually alarming because he hasn't even played that much.
And he averages 5 yards a carry
yeah,
for his
just filthy.
career.
Right. Which is crazy. The only thing that sucks is that when you're like this good of a running back and you're kind of small, you obviously don't last as long.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, even almost all
That's
these
hard.
teams can have a different running back by now.
Right.
So like by next year, it'll be a whole new set of running backs, probably, or 2 more coming in.
Which sucks so much because that basically tells you that you don't need to sign running backs.
Nope.
You just get them in the
In the 3rd round, 5th round, 6th round.
you just get them in the draft.
If I'm not mistaken, Kareem Hunt is like a 3rd round pick.
All right, so we're
4th
gonna
round pick.
so we're gonna go King Henry, Nick Chubbs, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and
Christian
then
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. Only because McCaffrey not only didn't play a lot, he's young. This is his 3rd year, so he's just barely touching the surface of his potential and what he could be doing.
Because he's a beast too.
He's phenomenal. And the funny thing is a couple things. You don't see that many white running backs dominate the league. Number 2, he's small as fuck, which is another thing you don't really see running backs doing at his position, dominating. He runs inside phenomenally. He runs outside phenomenally. He could catch the ball. He can catch deep. I mean, he brings a lot to the table. He's more, I guess, built into the Kamara kind of
Yep.
situation there, or
Good.
kind of
Yep.
same style.
That's
So
not
hold on.
bad because last year he ran for almost 1,400 yards.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then the year
So
before that, it was almost 1,100. And his rookie
Mhm.
season, 435.
So
But he didn't start in his rookie year.
No.
He only
Well,
started 10 games in his rookie year.
Okay. Yeah, they eased them in. All right, so let's see this. To me, the one of the beasts of the building. You got to give it to him, bro. You could bump out McCaffrey and put Zeke in. You could bump out McCaffrey and put look. 2016 rookie year,
Yep.
1,600 yards, rookie of the year for sure, 15 TDs. 2017, he was mailing it in a little bit, but he almost got 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Then 2018, again, filthy, 1,400 and change, 6 TDs, and then 19 again, 13 and change, 12. This year, he had 2 off years, but he came close, 979 to 1,000, 6 touchdowns.
True.
So it would be you and longevity, 5 years doing it. I mean, you might even have you could make an argument that you could bump Kamara and put him in front of Kamara.
Trying to see.
You'd have to go Henry, Chubbs, Zeke, Kamara, Cook.
Is it pure runner?
Right? I mean, yeah, but you know, the weird thing is that when you say best running backs, that's kind of like not the full statement. But if we're looking at
Because you got to throw in passing. That's the
right,
tough part.
yeah, right. But for the most part, a lot of these running backs are not dynamic pass catchers. Pass catching is a new thing.
There's only Kamara and McCaffrey is really electric, and Jones.
Right.
And Cook.
The
Cook, you
catching.
could throw Cook in there with catching. As
I was
a
just
running
saying you
back.
could throw Cook because they do a lot of screens.
Yep. So then the top 5 will be Henry, Chubb, Zeke,
Cook,
Cook and
No. Sorry,
Kamara Cook,
Henry. Yeah, yeah. So Henry, Chubbs, Zeke, Alvin, Cook.
and
I
then
think
and
that's
then
what it has to be.
McCaffrey on the outside looking in.
Right. And then who? There's nobody else because I looked at the list. It's crazy that there's just like, just nothing.
Kind of nobody's. Like Le'Veon would have been there if he would have played last year.
Sure, for sure, Le'Veon. What Le'Veon was making a case to be the greatest ever because of his like numbers overall.
Yep, catching and running. Like he was going
Right.
1,500 yards and another 100, another 1,000 yards in the air. Almost every game. I mean,
Right.
every year.
He should have never left Pittsburgh. He should have just sucked it up.
It's tough when you're trying to fight for player empowerment. Like if and the way that Pittsburgh does business too. So like
Yeah. Right. They're like the Giants. They're like the Patriots. They're like the Packers. They'll
so
sell
like
you
they didn't they're slick. So they'll give here's a 5-year deal, $70 million, but only in the first year of that 5-year deal is guaranteed,
guaranteed. Yes.
and every other year after that is not guaranteed.
But bringing up Le'Veon to the discussion, Le'Veon is dynamic. Le'Veon, what he's did with the time that he's done, has been electrifying. But Le'Veon's always hurt too.
Yeah, but he's got like the ankle injury when he got pulled down by Vontaze Burfict was a fluke injury. When his ankle when he
I
fell
get
on
that.
the sideline. That's a.
But he came in. He came into the league with injury questions, and then proved everybody wrong. But then, like 2 or 3 years into it, he started getting injured. Like he's never had, a dominant playoff performance ever.
Like
So-
those killer bees never did.
Right.
Ben Brown and Le'Veon.
Le'Veon. I think that it's crazy because we look at what the Chiefs are doing, and the Chiefs are electrifying because they have like their version of a big three.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like if you don't have that, it's probably not good for your team to be offense centric, because those other teams that played way better defense won, right? Like Brady has never had a big three.
Never.
I mean, the closest he had was him and Gronk and Hernandez, and that didn't last long.
Nope.
And then you could argue he had him, Welker, and Moss, and that didn't go
And
too
what
long.
either.
And he lost at the end of the day.
His big three you could say is Edelman, Gronk, and him.
Right. And fucking Edelman is like, a B plus player
Uh-huh.
in the sense of the eyes of how people evaluate the talent.
Yeah, for sure. Because Edelman's a beast. Like I can't take anything away from him.
He's fantastic.
That's another guy. Like he's not a Hall of Fame player,
No.
but he might be because he won chips, and they're gonna say his playoff record, his playoff stats.
Yes.
But again, like I said, you think is Julian Edelman as a Hall of Famer? No.
No, not big. But it's so weird, right? Like once you start to get hardware, it changes the conversation. So I feel like they need to figure out what the conversation is. Are we focusing on getting these players in because of their regular season numbers, or are we focusing on them getting regular season numbers plus Super Bowls?
My evaluation is easy. I think if you were great in your era, so
Right. I think that's better. I think
get
it's a way
five.
better look-
If you in the league 10 years, at least more than half of that, you should be an All Pro.
Yes, I agree.
You should be. If you in 10 years, you should have went to. You should be 6, 7 Pro Bowls. If you're in the league 10 years, like you are hands down a top 5 player in that position in that era. So like,
I agree.
obviously Tom Brady is going to be, cemented. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, then it'll get tricky, because like I said, with Phillip Rivers, there was always Breeze, Ben, Tom Brady,
Rodgers has to be there too because Rodgers been in the building for fucking
Rodgers, Manning.
ever. Right.
So
that's
those
it.
are the top 5 for the last 20 years. You never cracked that top 5. Whereas like, you were greater than any of these guys. He never had this like a moment where we beat
the greatest whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have that on his resume. So that's why it's tricky when you come down to these guys.
Speaking about the resume, right? And then we'll move topics. Does that make Adrian Peterson a Yellow Jacket man or not? He's got 2K. He's dominated, right?
He's definitely a Hall of Famer because he was the greatest of his era.
That's what I'm saying. So he qualifies for sure,
For
right?
sure, yeah. And he came back from the ACL.
And dominates.
And he was still cooking in the Redskins at the end of his career for whatever
Yeah, I feel
reason.
like the Redskins fucked up by not getting him more involved.
They did him dirty because they had Darius Geis, but then Darius
Yeah,
Geis
but
they
bum.
cut him because
Uh-huh.
he did
Bum.
some
Bum.
nonsense.
Nothing. Right? Garbage. Like, what are you
So
doing?
he went to Detroit. He did okay in Detroit.
And again, they didn't fucking feed him the rock.
Exactly.
And again, I just don't understand. Like the
So
guy he still has tread on the wheels, baby.
that's the issue with some of these guys where like, all right, he's older, or we're not gonna use this person the same way,
That
and
makes no sense, bro. That makes no sense.
and it sucks
I mean, yeah,
because like Frank Gore is gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
right. But also, Frank Gore has like the most career rushing numbers for anybody active.
Exactly. So like, is Frank Gore a Hall of Famer? I don't think so.
Why not? He has the numbers. Remember, we said numbers,
Okay,
and we said
but I don't
dominate
think
his
again.
era. You don't think he dominated his era?
Who when was Frank Gore ever a top 5 running back?
A lot of times. I'm gonna show you right
No
now.
shot. A top 5 running back? No shot.
Let's see. There's no way you become like second overall or third overall on a running back list if you weren't dominating once or twice.
No, I mean an era.
That's what I'm saying, in an era.
No, he hasn't dominated an era. Frank Gore?
Yes, my man. My Jets buddy. He's my friend. No. Hold on. This motherfucker's been playing since 2005. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, bro. He totally dominated an era. All right. So in 2005, he gets drafted, right? 600 yards. Okay. '06, 1,600 plus. Obviously, that was a breakout season. 2007, 1,000 yards.
Okay.
2008, 1,000
Yep.
yards plus. 2009, 1,000 yards. That's enough right there. 5 years, you dominated an era. And look at his rushing numbers: 300, 250, 240, 290.
He only hit 300 once in his career.
I get that. I'm saying like
Everything's
he still got the
260,
rock a lot.
280.
Okay, and then he falls off 2010, and then again 1,200, 1,200, 1,100, 1,100. So basically, in two different eras, he rushed for 5,000 yards. He rushed for 5,000 yards in the double O's, and he rushed for 1,000 plus in the tens.
Okay, so look, 2000 and he came what league? What year?
2005.
2000.
He has 16,000 yards overall, bro.
No, for sure. The numbers bear it. Like I said, this is a tough thing.
Right, but I'm saying like he dominated his shit.
Hold on.
Go ahead, do the math. Let's see what you got.
Not the math.
I know I'm fucking with you. I don't mean the math. I mean whatever you're trying to draw up over there on a piece of napkin. Go ahead, show. It's like, we get a seal.
So
here.
he came in 2005, correct? Right? He had the top 5 running backs in 2005. This is rookie season.
Let's see this. This is great.
So we got Sean Alexander.
Okay, he's good.
He had 1,800 yards.
I know he fucked up the
We
game
got
that year.
Airin James. He had 1,500 yards. Right? Tiki
Okay.
Barber had 1,800 yards.
Right, but in 2005 he was a rookie.
I understand that. We're gonna go down the list.
Okay,
so,
boom. Let's go.
2005.
Clinton
Clinton Portis, 1,500 yards. Ladainian Tomlinson.
And that was a great a year for running backs.
Exactly. So this is just 2005. So right, you got LT at 1,500 yards. Those are your top 5. Then you got Rudy Johnson with 1,500 yards, and you got Larry Johnson with 1,700 yards. So those are your top.
Still 2005.
2005. This is all 2005.
My
Top
God.
7 players.
Wow.
He doesn't even crack the top 20. Right.
Right, but that was rookie.
That's
Rookie. Okay, boom. 06. Push it to 06. And then we'll do the picks of the game for this, and then we'll deuce it out.
Okay, ready? So this is
God, I'm ready.
2006.
2006.
Number 1, Larry Johnson, 1,700 yards.
Damn, that guy was filthy. Go ahead.
LT, 1,800 yards.
Shit.
Steven Jackson, 1,500 yards. Rudy Johnson, 1,300 yards. Edrin James, 1,200 yards. Willie Parker, 1,500 yards. Tiki Barber, 1,600 yards. And then you get to Frank Gore at 1,600 yards.
That was what? That makes him 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to 2007 then.
So
So he barely cracked his peers
let me see.
in
1,
06.
2. He got how much? He had 1,600 yards. So let's go with 1,600 yard rushing yards. So he was 1, 2, 3, 4. He was the He was a sixth
Best back in
in
06.
rushing.
Okay, so boom. So boom. So rookie year, not on the radar. Even in 06, he's still sixth. He wasn't even making that much of noise because he had 5 other guys who were dominating the league over him.
What the fuck? Rushing. What the? Okay, so we have 2007,
7.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So here, let's go. So this is yards for 2007.
Go ahead.
LT,
Mm-hmm.
1,400 yards. Adrian Peterson, 1,300 yards. Brian Westbrook, 1,300 yards. Willie Parker, 1,300 yards. Jamal Lewis, 1,300 yards. Clinton Portis, 1,200 yards. Edrin James, 1,200 yards. Willie McGinnis, 1,200 yards. Fred Taylor, 1,200 yards. He's
Yeah.
13th on his list.
Wow. Okay. All right. So now he's in his. So that's him. Just basically. I mean, look, his numbers obviously like he didn't get the 1600s. So I guess basically he didn't dominate. Because
That's
even if you go to 08, he only had 1,000. If you go to like based on those numbers,
so right now he's the 14th ranked running back in 2008. 2008, you got Adrian Peterson with 1,700 yards, Michael Turner 1,700 yards, D'Angelo Williams 1,500 yards, Clinton Portis 1,500 yards, Thomas Jones 1,300, Steve Slayton 1,200, Matt Forte 1,200, Chris Johnson 1,200, Ryan Grant 1,200, LT 1,100, Frank Gore's 1,000 in 2008. So that's 3 years in,
now 4 years.
4 years in, and he's still not a top 5 running back.
I don't think he ever was a top 5 running back.
That's my issue.
All right, hold on. Go to 2011.
2011.
That was probably his best year. 2011, 2012 was his best years. So let's see if he even cracked that. Cause fuck, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've been in the league 8 years. If he even smells the top 5 in 2012 or 2011,
He's number 6.
in 11,
Yep.
and then okay, so 2012. No, I just want to make sure. So then, yeah, no. I just can't believe how long this guy's been in the building.
No, for sure. Like that's the tough part is because you go like when you go by longevity,
Right,
you know,
right.
because like
He's
even
the oldest running back ever to
like,
play the game
yep,
ever.
in 2011 you have Maurice Jones-Drew, Ray Rice, Michael Turner, LaShawn McCoy, Arian Foster, and Dennis Frank Gore in
So that was
2011.
okay. All right, so he finally cracked the top 5.
No, he's 6 there.
Shit, damn. You know what I think? You know what I think hurt him because I've watched him play. He never had the speed,
For sure.
and I think if he had more speed, he probably would have gotten to those 16s. Because you don't really see a video of him taking it to the house from like the 20-yard line
See, look,
on the 30.
one of 2012,
Okay.
Adrian Peterson 2,000 yards. Alfred Morris, 1,600 yards. Marshawn Lynch, 1,600 yards. Jamal Charles, 1,500 yards. Doug Martin, 1,400 yards. Arian Foster, 1,400 yards. Stephen Ridley, 1,200 yards. C.J. Spiller, 1,200. Chris Johnson, 1,200. Then Frank Gore with 1,100. The only thing I could say is I give him credit for is that he was around top 10 so far up to 2012.
No, but even in the beginning, right? Because he was always top 6, 7 things. So top 10 running back is not trash.
No, for sure not. For sure. I didn't say he was trash. I'm just saying my standards for the Hall of Fame is different. I have high standards for Hall of Fame.
No, I get you. You said dominate,
For
the
greatness.
position.
Let me see. Frank Gore, All Pro.
Oh yeah, let's see how many he had to win a bunch of those because there's a lot of fucking Niner fans. They voting like motherfuckers.
There's a piece. Sorry, but Frank Gore doesn't belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's fucked up. Shots fired.
Frank Gore is NFL's 3rd leading rusher, and he's not a Hall of Famer. It's fucked up.
Yeah, he should have never went to the Jets.
Why they're not showing his All Pro teams? Okay, he was a NFL 2010s All Decade team. He made
Okay.
that. He went to the Pro Bowl 5 times and for the
For 400 years, he went to the Pro Bowl
is
5 times.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. I still think like for the longevity, you got to give it to him because he is like third overall, and I don't think moving forward, the way they use running backs, no one is ever gonna fuck with that number.
Okay, you could say see like if you do research, then you have to, then you could. He has an NFL record for most games played by a running back, and he's the first player in NFL history with 12 consecutive 1,200-yard seasons from scrimmage.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good stat.
So he has almost 20,000 yards total with
Right. He has
running and
16 and
receiving.
change. Oh shit! Damn.
So he has 16,000 yards rushing
Mm-hmm.
and 3,985 yards receiving.
Wow.
It's almost 20,000 yards.
Yeah, he's kind of a beast on the low, bro.
But that's the thing. You gotta think about it. That's just the
Yeah,
test.
I get you. I get you. It makes a lot of sense. I think that we were grabbing at straws because that running back shit. Like, well, I didn't think it was gonna be so like flat. I can't believe we can't like. You can't even argue a top 10 running backs. You'd have to go back in history.
You're gonna have to change it to the last 2 year kind of thing. You have to change
Yeah.
like criteria for
They
top.
they run so fly. They fly.
I think
so
the average year for a running back is like 2.5 years. I think the average year in the NFL.
My God.
That's a tough
All
one.
right. Let's get these games out of the way so everybody could get back to business, kind of hanging out. So, let me see. Let me pull this shit up. Pull up the Vegas real quick. I gotta get my man Vegas on here real quick, dude. I gotta stop fucking around. There's so much stuff here. All right. Oh, let me give shout outs to the NFL. They're the ones that make it. They're the ones that should give it to me. You know what's so funny? Why doesn't fucking the NFL put every single stat you would want? Right? Like, if I go to your game situation, right? You should not only tell me like a fancy stat, but you should give me the lines.
That's what
Sports is almost
like
the
ESPN
NFL
has
sport-
it.
Yeah, like sports gambling is like on the verge of becoming legal.
I guess they don't want to like I don't know.
Yeah, they don't have no explanation.
They don't want to seem like they're like promoting gambling.
Owning? Yeah, but that's not true because everywhere you fucking go is DraftKings and fucking
True.
FanDuel. So you guys are fucking confused. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Are these both Sunday games? Thank God I don't gotta do shit on Saturday. Wonderful. It is a 3:05 start for you. Oh, wait, no, excuse me, a 4:05 start for you guys. No, wait, it's 3:05. Yeah, I always get this. The first game always fucks me up. 3:05. I had 3 to 12 o'clock. Yeah, 3:05. The fifth ranked Bucks go to play the first ranked Packers. First postseason meeting between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. How crazy is that? That the NFL didn't figure out a way to fucking make that happen more. I know that conferences, but Jesus Christ. All right, what you got? I think this is gonna be probably the harder game to pick.
I'm gonna go with Brady.
I was gonna say TB plus TB plus TB equals SB.
Exactly. I think I'm just gonna go with the more experienced guy. He's like he played in Foxborough, so he knows what fucking freezing cold weather is like. So
Yes.
that frozen tundra in Wisconsin ain't gonna phase him.
I feel like that frozen tundra shit is frozen nothing.
No.
Right? We're not playing in the 60s anymore, bro. Like they
That fuel's not heated, fam. If the
Right,
fuel
that's
is
what I'm
heated, then but that cold floor is still cold floor.
I get it. I get you on the cold floor part. I just don't feel like it wasn't that cold last week.
And who knows this week? Well, let me see. Does it say the temperature?
By the way, what's the stat from Vegas? What's
So
Vegas'
all right.
stat
So
shit?
Tampa Bay's on the road, and Green Bay is favored by 3.5.
I feel like you got to take Tampa. That's easy money.
Let's see.
Tampa's gonna win. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but they're getting points, right?
It's gonna be on Saturday,
55.
22 degrees.
Shit.
Let me see
But that
Saturday.
can't be entirely true because there's no way it's 20 degrees at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, bro.
21 degrees kickoff time. That's fucking cold.
Okay, so maybe the frozen tundra thing has got a little something left. All right.
And they
But
said
if
it might snow.
Okay. All right. So I think this one is a lock for both of us. I think it's TB plus TB plus TB equals SB.
I think it's just meant to
my
be.
concern is how good is Green Bay's pass rush, because if they start to harass Brady, they might be a little bit in trouble. But I didn't see them harassing like uh, the Tampa Bay offensive line did a really good job against a top 5 defense.
For sure.
I don't think the Rodgers is Green Bay Packers defense is a top 5 defense.
No, I think it's top 10, but it's still.
Okay, so
It
we
gets,
got
a little, it gets a little fluky because, like, when you start slapping a team and the other team has to throw the ball more, you get to send more guys to blitz.
right.
So you get to gamble more. So, like, your offense kind of becomes
Yeah,
your defense.
correct.
And it makes your defense look better than your offense.
All right, going to the other side, they're the most blitzing team in the league. Do they have enough to slow down Devontae?
We're going to talk about DBs next week. But homeboy Dean, if I'm not mistaken, I think
He's up and coming merch.
his resume is stupid.
Hmm.
Let me see.
I haven't even heard of him. See, that's why I like it when I talk to smart people. You put me on.
He like
I haven't really been seeing it. Devin White has been getting all the motherfucking credit on that team, and JPP with 8.5 fingers has been doing his thing. Yo, how crazy would it be if Ndamukong Suh finally wins the Super Bowl?
is it 20? That'd be crazy. And that's another underlying storyline that Aaron Rodgers and Ndamukong Suh don't fuck with each other
Ooh, yeah, baby. I hope he steps on his face.
because he stepped on his hand.
Nasty. Let's fucking go. I know Ndamukong Suh is dirty as shit. If we stepping on anything for you, which I'll take it. I like nasty defensive players, so I'm with it. I'm with it all day. Bro, I'm about to call that shit in right now because I fucked up last week. I covered with that 10 points on Cleveland. If I would have put 1,000, I would have won 1,000 on the money line, bro.
I told you they were gonna cover that game. I feel like that game.
Yeah, we both were in agreement. We both were in agreement.
Jamal
All right, so-
Dean. Here we go. That's
Okay,
his
what
name.
you got on my man? A little preview to the DB shit next week.
Say right now.
I don't even know. So obviously they rate tackles, right? And they rate interceptions. Pass defended is another.
They also they also catches, yards.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna look this up. I'm gonna do some more homework on this DB shit and get our top 5 a recap down.
Let me see. Why can't I find this fucking thing? Anyway,
Yeah. You think Homeboy's a legit?
to keep it
so
moving,
we got a legit DB going against Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
which is crazy because if they could go 1-on-1, you know they're gonna be blitzing like a motherfucker.
exactly. He's like, and last, like, out of all the top wide receivers he played, I think nobody got over 50 yards or 30 yards on
If
him.
you had to pick a mold that he reminded you of, so I could get a sense of this guy, who does he play similar to? You think?
He's small and scrappy. He reminds me a little bit of Revis.
I was just gonna say Darrell.
Yeah, he's a little scrappy like him.
Okay. That's good, bro. That's the thing, bro. If you could fight these whiteouts at the line of scrimmage,
I think the only bad game he had is when they played Kansas City.
Now, do you think they played earlier in the season and Tampa Bay smoked them? Do you think that hurts, helps, or does it matter?
I think Tom Brady is gonna have those guys ready. I think
Right.
he's not gonna do what Drew Brees did, and not have Drew Brees gonna have his guys ready to play the rematch and let them know, like, yo, I'm here to win a chip. Like, get
let's
your
not
shit,
fucking around.
P's and Q's. So that's why I think Tom Brady they'll win this game. I like the
All right.
Bucks.
All right, cool. And you're taking standout player Brady, right?
Yep.
Right. So like I said, we got it. I'm about to tweet the
Lockstep.
shit out of that. Yeah, the TB plus TB plus TB equals SB. All right. So now this is going to be very interesting because we don't often see this. The number 2 seed Bills travel to play the number 1 seed Chiefs. And this is the first AFC Championship appearance since 1993 for Buffalo. What you thinking?
I gotta go with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Until
What's the spread on it? Let's see what Vegas thinks.
think it's
If
3.
10, damn, this is easy money, bro.
if I'm not mistaken, it's 3. Yep, 3. Chiefs at home by 3.
Chiefs are getting 3.
No, Chiefs are -3. So the Bills get
Right,
plus
yeah,
3.
The Bills are getting 3. Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I just don't see it.
Patrick.
Unless a fluke injury happens, like happened last week, and the Bills get lucky. If Patty gets out again, or they lose Tyreek, or they lose Kelsey, I don't see them losing. I don't see the Bills able to keep up with Kansas City.
In the
So
sense of scoring department, you're saying, right? Well, you know what your boy's gonna do, right? Your boy's about to go crazy. I'm gonna take Josh Allen, baby. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
I'm a believer. Let's do this. We're gonna do this shit on the road one time for the action. I really think that it's gonna be crazy if they beat them and it's Tom Brady versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. That'll be fucking bananas.
And then he beats them, and then
Yeah.
he literally owns the AFC East.
Right, forever. Like I'm just a G. It don't matter. Right?
But I want to see Patty versus Tommy
Yeah, that would be. Well, first of all, that's gonna sell all the tickets
on the
And
biggest
since
stage.
There aren't no fucking tickets. You want everybody buying flat screen TVs and all types of shit to watch. This
I don't think the
game.
NFL wants the Bills to make it.
Really, because it's not exciting enough. But you gotta also
Like
you
Rogers
gotta-
Mahomes sells more than Rogers Allen.
Yeah, but that's not true because haven't you seen already? And I'm gonna take shots. All you New York fans, not you specifically, but the other ones that have already jumped on the Bills bandwagon. That shit is gonna be fucking the most watched. They haven't won a Super Bowl ever. They went back to back to back to back. They're pulling some LeBron James shit. Ain't do shit, right? They got Jim Kelly, one of the greats, and nothing. I mean, I agree with you. There's Mahomes, Rogers, Mahomes, Brady are the ones that sell. I think if it's Brady Bills, that might be more interesting in the sense of like selling.
Yeah, that'll
selling.
be better.
It'll be second place. It'll probably be second place to Patrick and Tom because whoever wins that game, it's either I'm passing the torch or give me that torch back, motherfucker. I'm the real in the building.
Exactly. You're not touching me. Get out of here.
And it's crazy too because they've played each other the last 2 years in the playoffs. Maybe not last year, but the year before.
Yeah,
they
they won twice.
Yeah. So. And you know what's terrible? Brady plays terrible against the Chiefs. Like their defense knows him. Spags knows him. Spags won 2 chips off of him as a D coordinator. So I think he wants the Bills. He definitely don't want no fucking Chiefs.
And if they get the 2 weeks, you don't want to face Andy Reid. He has a bye. He gets a chance to.
Uncle Salty claims that Andy Reid's got Tommy figured out a little bit. Yeah, because a few times that they've played the Patriots,
they lost to them in a Super Bowl. So,
right.
Remember with Donovan and T.O. That was Andy Reid.
Yeah. But we're saying under as a Chief.
Oh yeah.
His numbers against the Patriots are ridiculous, and his numbers, especially against Tom Brady, have been pretty good.
Yeah, but even though Tom still has won those games.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
so
he just doesn't get statistically crazy, which we've never really seen Brady do a Joe Montana or Steve Young, which is like 5 TDs, 300 yards, no picks, straight out MVP of the game. Or at least in a while we haven't seen. All right.
Yes,
I think that concludes the show. What do we get? How many people are still watching us? 2 or 0?
2 now. We had around 8 earlier. So
I
it was,
see. Okay,
it was
cool.
fluctuating.
All right.
I think Lucho was in here.
Yeah, he totally was. He's a supporting the kid.
Pretzel, Bob Fisher was in here.
Okay, that's my man.
Yep.
Uncle Bob in the building.
And my guy Pretzel was in here.
Nasty. What any statements?
Talking about Biden was that he was sharp during his speech. He thought. Why was Tom Hanks there?
That's what I don't fucking understand. Yeah. Bro, just a party.
Kodak Black, like why?
Right.
Trump should have pardoned Julian Assange and Snowden.
Wow, that was great. Whoever said that, that's probably the best comment. I didn't think about that.
For Eli, I believe they won in despite of him, not because of him. Bob said that.
Nice.
I'm mostly into combat sports. You two got a good rhythm. That's what Lucho said.
Yeah, I know. Luch, we're gonna start doing some top UFC fighters or something.
I think McGregor. They played this. I think they fight on Saturday. The McGregor fight Saturday.
What do you think? Smoked or no smoked?
I don't know. They were kind of friendly in the press conference. It was kind of odd for me seeing.
Yeah. I think he's over the hill, bro.
I'm gonna see.
Yeah, we'll see. Does he got a beard or no beard? If he got no beard,
he got the beard, but he got the shaved head. He got the little skinhead looking shit going on.
Oh, so he's going back to his old roots.
So
Let's see if
he's ready to go. It's hard to go get smashed when you made $100 million.
Facts. That's why people don't chase greatness, my man. Seriously.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us on the show. We'll be dropping a whole bunch of social media stuff. Like my man says, what do you say? Smash the like button.
Smash that like button, hit that subscribe, turn the notification bells on, and
We'll
make
let
sure
you
we
guys
see you
know.
guys next week.
All right. Take it easy. Peace out, everybody. Take
Have a
care,
good day.
Jay.
Peace.